Hi, welcome to this tutorial for Chaturanga. So Chaturanga is something that for many of us is really tough, especially if we haven't been working or ever developed the muscles in our upper body. So we're just going to go through a few small alternatives that you can do for Chaturanga, a couple of drills to help you strengthen those shoulders, and some ways that you can slowly work yourself into a Chaturanga. It's really important that we do this correctly because doing a Chaturanga incorrectly can lead to lower back damage, it can lead to shoulder damage, so it's really good to get this right. So we'll go through without any props to start with. So coming into your Chaturanga pose, usually we do this in a vinyasa, so we start off with a plank. So the important thing to make sure before you even come into the plank is to make sure that your hands are well placed. So fingers are spread nice and wide. You're pushing those fingertips into the mat to help distribute the weight, to strengthen the palms of your hands. Your hands are underneath the shoulders, so you're not too far back, you're not too far forward. And then you can straighten one leg and then the other, coming into your plank pose. Now from here, it's important that we engage the abdominals, because if we don't engage the abdominals, we do this with our back, our bum goes up, belly comes down, and that's how we hurt ourselves. So pull that belly button in and up. So belly button comes in and up into the rib cage. Tailbone tucked under, pubic bone moving up. It's like you're trying to move away from your mat. Shoulder blades are nice and open, but we're not lifting the upper back up. We're not forcing ourselves away. And we're also not dropping down. So you're somewhere in between. You can move up and down to find out how it works. Do it with the knees down. This is a little tough. And then as you exhale, the elbows bend backwards. You come down to 90 degrees. You shift forward a little bit so that your elbows come over your wrists, so that you're not leaning too far back. Again, takes a little bit of practice. Sometimes you don't always do it right. And then as you inhale, you come up into up dog or whatever posture comes next. So if that's tough, which it is, I still struggle sometimes, it's normal, don't worry about it, takes a while. You do need to be very careful of your wrists. So if you can't do a normal Chaturanga without collapsing your back and then those hips coming down to the earth and you falling over, then first alternative, knees onto the mat. You do a half Chaturanga, half plank. And again, it's still tough work. You still have to really think about those core muscles. You've got to try and keep your bum, your hips in line with your shoulders. If you think that my bum is coming up a little bit, that's also normal because some of us have bigger bums than others. So don't worry about your bum looking like that. As long as you're tucking that tailbone under and you can feel yourself pulling that pubic bone, your belly button in and up through to your rib cage, then you know you're in the right position. And again, you still need to think about those shoulders. So you're not pushing the upper back up, you're not dropping the chest down, you're somewhere in the middle. So play with it, find out how it works, and you'll already be strengthening and working those muscles. And again, as you exhale, the elbows bend back. Really try to keep those elbows tucked under. Don't turn them out because then you're twisting your wrists and you'll damage your wrists. So really important, wrists stay in line with the shoulders, which keep the arms nice and straight, and then the elbows bend back. Chest comes down, inhale, baby cobra or up dog. So if you still find that when you've got your knees down on the floor that your belly is collapsing, then you do need to work on a few drills to strengthen the abdominal area. So you can, rather than doing your Chaturanga constantly, you can just hold plank and you can work on core exercises. You can do boat pose, you can do exercises, you can do drills with your brick to really strengthen that core area. Chair is a good one as well. Even though you're doing the thighs, you're still working the abdominals. But you really need to think about using that core. Most of the work is in the core. The shoulders sort of come afterwards once you've built up that strength. It's the triceps. If you can keep your core tight, but you feel it's your shoulders struggling, then there's a couple of things you can do. So the way that I started was I actually lifted the weight of my upper body up. So if you think about it, when you're in plank here, you've got the weight distributed between your hands and your feet. And now if you bring more weight into your feet, it becomes easier on the shoulders as you come down. So what you can do, it's nice to start off quite high, is the way that I did, is even a wall. So you can come up to a wall, place your hands on the wall, keep your body nice and tight, tailbone tucked under still, core nice and strong, still a nice good exercise for the core as well. Then you bend the elbows, bring your forehead down towards the wall. Inhale to lift up, exhale. Maybe you can even do it so you can try touching the wall. Try touching the wall with your forearms and then lifting back up. Still quite a tough exercise. If that's easy enough for you, come down to a lower level so you can use a table. That's what I used to do. Every morning I got up before I had breakfast, I did 10 push-ups on a table, trying to keep my elbows tucked in. Maybe they start out a little bit far around the edges to start with, and then slowly you'll be able to bring them in. And you can come down to something like a chair, and you can place your hands on the chair, come into that plank pose, bum comes down, tailbone tucked under, core tight, exhale, come down, inhale, lift up, exhale, come down, inhale, lift up. And by just lifting up the upper body, you're putting more weight into your feet, into your heels, making it easier for you to practice getting that movement right, getting the form right, and then the muscle comes afterwards. So it's all about keeping the form, and the muscle will naturally develop in the correct way once you worked on that. And then eventually you can come down, maybe you can come down low enough that you can do it on bricks, placing your hands, and just these couple of centimeters will make a big difference. Coming down, and then lifting back up. Once you can bring your hands all the way down to the mat, and you can do it, and maybe you still like to do it with your knees on the ground, then this is when you can bring your bricks in to help you. So, you want to have both your bricks on their highest setting so that they're about the height of your elbow. Place them close together so that when you place your hands ready for a Chaturanga, they're on the inside of your hands and arms are still placed correctly. Knees bent or legs straight, entirely up to you, depending on how much you want to work. And then this is the drill. So you exhale, shift forward a little bit, come down, and then the bricks should be at the height where your chest, your shoulders will touch, and then you lift up. So a little bit of a push-up drill. Again, it's different for everyone. Some people like to have their bricks down. You've got to play a while. You might find it easier with the legs straight in terms of touching the bricks. Exhale, bring yourself down, and then you inhale to lift yourself up. So you can see I did a little bit of a wiggle there because I was starting to get up. So maybe I need the bricks a little bit higher today. And remember, different every single day. So you exhale, shift forward a little bit, come down, and then you inhale, lift up. And then that's your drill for strengthening the shoulders and the arms. So once you've done all of those, and don't be afraid to get creative, you can find other ways of strengthening the arms and the shoulders, but the really good one is to start off on something that's a little bit higher, a table, a chair, anything that's stable that you can put your weight against, and then just working on bringing those elbows in, keeping your chest nice and long, and really, really focus on the abdominals, because that is where the key is, and that's what will stop you from getting injured. So once you've done all that, once you feel comfortable, once you feel strong, then you should be able to do a full Chaturanga. So I hope this helps. Remember that it takes time to build muscle, and it's really important that you keep correct form. So don't push yourself. Understand that it may be a couple of weeks. It won't happen overnight. It won't happen in days. It may even take a few months. It depends on how your muscles develop, how hard you're pushing yourself, how much time you can dedicate to practicing, and how much you actually want to. So really, really just be very gentle with yourself and know that as long as you keep practicing yoga, you will eventually one day be able to do it. So I hope this helps, and thank you for watching, and check out my other tutorials, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.